What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow. We back with the boxing clinic. You dig? One time for the one time. But we speaking on Guillermo Rigondeaux's former manager, Gary Hyde. He did an article. I'm gonna leave the link in the description so y'all know that it's true. And he basically said that Rigondeaux was making a big mistake by moving all the way up to 130 pounds to face Vasyl Lomachenko. Many people believe that's a mistake, but he gets in depth. Very in depth and very, very thorough about the situation. He even goes as far as saying that, Bob Arum wants Rigondeaux's scalp. He says he's beaten so many of Bob Arum's fighters that, basically Bob Arum put him in a handicap match. He's being handicapped. And, he said once that Bob Arum told him that nobody will ever beat Guillermo Rigondeaux. And that's how highly Bob Arum thought of Rigondeaux. But he says now that Bob Arum found somebody that can compete with Rigondeaux, he still feels he still wants to be very, very he wants to be very, very thorough about the situation. He wants this guy to have an advantage, plus be as talented as Lomachenko is. To make sure they really bury Rigondeaux. He said he hears that Rigondeaux is making about $1 million for this fight, and he says Guillermo Rigondeaux knows the end is near for him. He's about 37 years old. Says the money was the motivator. It was the fact that it was, just fighting Lomachenko. That wasn't the motivating factor alone. It was the fact that he can make enough money to potentially retire off this fight for him. And he said that was a big motivator. He says, this is not good for Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux is the type of talent that they should be talking about 100 years, later. And he's right. He also goes on to say, and I'll talk about what else he said as well. He said he also goes on to say that, if Lomachenko was a real sportsman or a true sport or something like that, he said that he would have said, oh, okay, we could do it at 126. And he's exactly right. Lomachenko did not want this fight, He wanted Birch, Slido, any of the other champions before he wanted Rigondeaux. And Rigondeaux was at 122 pounds. He wanted this fight only because that Rigondeaux was going to be handicapped and he could have an opportunity to beat another dual medal gold medalist. He didn't do this fight for the fans. He didn't do this fight for no other reason but to bury Rigondeaux and do it for Bob Arum. He didn't care about the fight. He'd tell you he didn't care. He wanted to move on and do other things. He did this fight so he can eliminate the pain in the side named Guillermo Rigondeaux for Bob Arum. That's it. This is an extermination. This is a legalized hit on Rigondeaux. And Rigondeaux pretty much took the bait. And that's what his former manager was saying. He said if I was still his manager, this fight would not be going on. And I guess, about the time he left, Rigondeaux hasn't been managed right at all. Lara told him and Gamboa to come sign with Al Heyman. They refused to do it. They went another way, and that's on them, And Lara is, and most fans, an afterthought, but Lara is getting money every time he's fighting out there. He's making enough money where you don't hear him complain. But, the manager, Gary Hyde, goes on to say that, basically, it's just very unfair for Rigondeaux right here. And he says basically this is a gateway to retirement for Rigondeaux. He's making some good money. And he made basically a comparison. He said if Lomachenko was so good, why does basically he have to prove versus Rigondeaux? Why doesn't he move up and prove it versus Terrence Crawford? He said, why Lomachenko doesn't move up and fight Terrence Crawford? Because Crawford is too damn big. And he says the same fucking situation with Rigondeaux. Lomachenko is too damn big at 130. He says he's a couple inches taller, longer reach, even though Rigondeaux has a longer reach. He says just too dangerous of a fight, And he says he don't think Lomachenko is going to get his credit, because he's beating a smaller guy. But the way he's hyped up, and most people think that the way he's hyped up, he's going to get a lot of credit for it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. He's right. We have different expectations and different bars of greatness for different fighters. Most people, Rigondeaux should move up and do this and accommodate Lomachenko. He should do that. But we won't ask Lomachenko to move up 5 pounds to fight Mikey Garcia, or move up another 5 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford, when Rigondeaux, his manager, says really he can get down to 118. He said he has never seen him, his former manager, above 128. And you ask these guys, certain guys, to make strides and make jumps and take risks, but nobody asks, really clamors for Lomachenko to move to fight Mike Garcia, do it. Nobody asks him to jump up 10 pounds to fight Terrence Crawford. Basically, that's what Rigondeaux doing. He's jumping up 8 pounds to fight Lomachenko, but they don't ask Lomachenko to go out there and try to be great, but they ask guys like Rigondeaux. They ask guys like Andre Ward. They ask guys like Earl Spence. They ask guys like Keith Thurman. They ask who they want to ask. But when you go to they guys like Gennady Golovkin, oh no, he's just too small. He's a middleweight. Oh, when you get to certain other guys as well, they don't have to be on that list. And hopefully Rigondeaux overcomes the odds. I don't think he will, but if he do, be a great feat and punch his ticket to a Hall of Fame for sure. And in pros, we gone.